I'm doing great. Happy to be back in the building. I had a golfing tournament yesterday. Pretty dope.
How'd you play?
Did all right. I mean, I got on the green a couple times. Golf was really not my thing, trying to learn it, but it was fun yesterday.
What was the process like for you this offseason? And obviously, re-signing here after last year. What was that like?
I mean, the process, it's a waiting game, but we finally got it done, and I'm happy to be back. They brought me back for a reason. I still feel like, regardless of my age, how many years it is, I still bring some type of value, to the team. And this process has been just trying to stay healthy.
Was there a moment when you thought you were going elsewhere, or were you always sort of focused on trying to get back here?
Well, I was dealing with my elbow at the time, so I was really worried about just treatment, and I let my agent handle all of that stuff like that, so I was just worried about getting healthy.
What do you think is kind of the reason why you were brought back to this team?
Probably just value, personality, type of player that I am on the field. I think I do have a positive influence on some of the guys in the locker room. Yeah, I don't know.
After you signed, how much did you pay attention to, who else was signing and then the draft pick?
To be completely honest, not wanting attention to it. I know the guys that we did bring in, I've seen it, but I really wasn't paying attention to it. I was kind of worried about myself and trying to figure out where I was going to be. And like I said, just getting back healthy.
Are you 100%?
Yeah. At the time, I was dealing with my elbow, so it was just getting cleared, and that's all I was worried about.
Just when you look back on last season, was there any frustration as far as how it went? Obviously, you're playing well for the first half. You had that groin. It kind of lingered and then getting hurt so early in the playoff game.
I was just about to say that's probably the only frustration. That's the injuries, which is something that I can try to prevent, but just my style of playing and just the way I play, it happens. It's part of the game. So I probably say that's the frustrating part.
And what's it like year 2 with NaVorro in the room?
Oh man, it's been great. Like I said, having a players coach, I said this before, having a coach that played the position, understand the game, and he definitely played at a high level. It's almost like having a big brother in the room, kind of telling you what to do and how to, get to where he was. But a lot of guys in that room, we learned a lot of ball, and I would say different techniques, probably something that we learned before, but, just hearing it in different verbiage. But it's been helpful, I feel like, for me in my career, especially on the back end, taking care of the body and figuring out, what was his regimen like when he played. So, little things like that.
The majority of the room is kind of stayed the same from last year. Just how exciting is that, and just how much can that help you guys now another year? Like I said, you brought back some guys as well.
Bringing the guys back in the room, you don't have to build a new bond with people. Don't get me wrong, there's 1 or 2 faces in the room that's new, but we kind of know, what each person's going to bring to the table. We like brothers in that room. I feel like we're a tight-knit group, and they didn't break it up. But having everybody back in the room is fun. It's a blessing. You ain't got to get to know this person, know this person's playing style, anything like that.
From your perspective as leaders in this group, what was your impression of the day on last year?
It's getting hot. I know it's about to start. Dayon last year, don't know the type of year he had before that, but I know last year he grew as a player and he's still growing now. Even when we do our offseason, well, not offseason, but our workouts now, he's first in line, he's leading the line. He'll break down the group, he's showing that leadership right now, and I'm happy with, the person that he's becoming.
How has your relationship grown with Dayon since you got back here last year?
Honestly, he's like a little brother, a brother from another, I like to call him. We're very, very, very tight-knit. Sometimes I stay at his house, we sit over there, play games, talk trash with each other, but it's literally like a big brother, little brother situation.
And then just with Junior, obviously came in as a 3rd-round pick last year. You had, appendectomy and an ankle injury. Just what are you sort of expecting him from this year?
The breakout season. I'm expecting the breakout season. I'm pretty sure, last year didn't go the way that he wanted to go with the injuries and everything like that. And he's working also. He's been in here every day, the off season also. So actually, I'm excited for both of those guys. Can I have a towel or something?
Yes.
Getting hot. But yeah, I'm excited for both of them guys, man.
Where do you feel like his head's at the end of the season? You mentioned just sort of what went down last year. Obviously, had some expectations.
Now I would say he's locked in. Like I said, he's been in the building every day. He's here before I am sometimes, so he's locked in. He's locked in.
Do you remember what that was like, going from year one to year two and knowing kind of what to expect? And
10 years ago. I would say you just build from the year before. If things don't go your way, thank you so much. Yeah, if things don't go your way, for me, I know I was just working on my weaknesses. I wasn't too focused on the strengths, but, you got to work on that type of stuff too. But mainly I was just working on my weaknesses, going from year one, year two, and looking at things that I can improve on.
Amazing, man. Living life. Weather's great. Sun's out. Can't complain.
How does it feel to be back here after going through the agency and being able to resign?
Yeah, no, it feels amazing. I think just being back at a place that you're wanted and appreciated is a big thing for me. And I think that was a big thing to determine the factor to come back. And, great locker room, great guys, great staff. So we can't beat these facilities, and the weather's always good. So it's the right fit. So glad to be back.
What was the process like for you? Did you feel all along that you were going to be back here? Or were there moments where...
Yeah, in my heart, I was kind of always wavering and come back here. But, you always want to play the field and see where everything is at. And then it was ultimately like this was the best fit for me and my family. So stayed back home and ready to do it again. Yeah.
What's year two like with Coach Bowman?
I think it's even better than year one. I think he understands everything way more than we all did last year as well. Like, we're all kind of just progressing together. I think the tidbits he still gives us is amazing. I think every day is a new day for us, and he does a great job for that, preparing us for that. And just excited for year two with him.
Other than Elron, the linebackers are pretty much the same as
Yeah.
the one last year. How can that help you guys, and what's the potential of this group?
I think, like you said, adding Delshon, adding Kay, adding Marlowe, like adding all the young guys that they brought in, it's going to be amazing. I think there's added value to the room. There's going to be no drop-off like there was last year. I think everybody's ready to play and can play at a high level. And we're just excited to have those guys in the room with us and being able to share the load a little bit and have some fun and win some games.
You had a chance to play some defense last year. Just what do you think you showed in that phase specifically?
Yeah, I think I was able to go out there and have no drop-off and continue to play at a high level and help the defense perform well and just help the team win games when I was in there. But at the end of the day, just be able to come in and have no drop-off from the guy in front of me and make sure that I'm able to keep the defense going in the right direction.
Hearing NaVorro's own playing history, how helpful is that? And getting those tips from a guy who's been in your shoes and in your position.
I think it's the biggest part. I mean, a guy who played at a high level, he's, in my opinion, he's a Hall of Famer. So, hopefully he gets voted in. But it's amazing because you get that viewpoint from a player and a coach who's done it recently and really understands the feel of the game and has played against some of the guys that we're playing against on a weekly basis. So it's just kind of cool to have that knowledge and that information right there at arm's length.
What makes him an effective coach? Because not every great player is necessarily a great coach as well. So what makes him effective in this kind of teaching?
I think he's just a natural leader. He's just a natural leader of men. So, if you go back to his playing days, he was a leader in those rooms and helping those defenses perform at a high level. So I think he just carries that over and uses the same mentality of just helping guys around him and making sure everybody around him is at their peak and at their best when it's needed. And I think he gives the information and tidbits that we need week in and week out that are extremely helpful.
How's it going?
Good, man, good. Blessed to be here.
What attracted you to the Chargers in the offseason?
Opportunity. That was the biggest thing I was looking for is opportunity. I don't really get into weather or, where I would like to live or any of that. For me, it's about the opportunity to play ball in a place that wants me for one, in a place that got the same goals I want. And obviously, a winning culture is already here. The standard is already set. I'm just here to add value and, uphold it.
Played a lot of special teams in your career. Just what value do you feel like you bring in that phase?
I bring a lot of value, just uplifting that part of the game, whatever my role is on defense, I just want to excel in that, even bring more value in that too. Special teams is like homebound for me. That's just something I know I can do in my sleep. It's just something I want to get better at also, though. In defense, I also want to get, better at a few things, add value on defense, and earn a role in that aspect of the game too.
Did you have any sort of relationship with Ryan Ficken, the special teams coordinator, here before you came over?
No. I was playing against you guys. I knew what type of special teams unit he liked to coach. Always a good unit when, by Fick. Physical team, a real technical team going against them. And that's something that I like. Hey, if he can get my game better, I'm all for that. I never want to stop growing or stop getting better. So that's something I really like with like playing against fit teams, and that's just something that I really want to get better at myself. So
What was your impression of the Chargers last year when you beat playing against them?
hard fought team, man. I mean, we was lucky, we got the better of that game, but still a hard fought team on the uprise. Already good, but just the next step is getting a championship win. That's just something that every team going against, but we all know that you see teams that's close, and we see teams that's not close. A team that was real close last year. A few pieces, a few mistakes here and there. That's just something the game goes. Can't play a perfect game, but this year's, as you all guys can see, as I can see, like there's some key pieces here now.
Now that you're here and it's going every day, what about this organization kind of gives you those clues to reaffirm your idea that like these guys are close and they're pushing toward like the bigger goals?
Number one is the way we operate here. Like everything is like we on task. Everything is about execution, just doing the right thing, and who can do the right thing longer. Like no matter what we doing, whether it's meetings in the weight room or on the field, we are trying to get the right thing done, no matter how we get it done. And that's just something that stick out to me. Like there's no areas where we slack at here. Like you got your brothers to pick, before the coaches even say anything. It's the teammates, your brothers to pick you up and say, hey, pick it up here, pick it up. We got to fix this. We got to communicate. We got to, that's. The best teams are the teams that's player-led. The players lead you. You don't really need the coaches to say too much or to help you with anything.
What's been your impression of Harbaugh?
I love Harbaugh, man. Great coach, great teacher. Just a great leader of men in general, And that's just something that's rare. Like, you find a lot of good coaches, but when the coach can, lead a group of men to believe in what he want to believe in, to follow him, follow his path, that's special. He got that.
Have you seen him in the weight room?
Yeah. Yeah.
Can you imagine other coaches?
You don't really see many coaches in there. I guess they kind of work out earlier or something, but yeah, he's in there. He's getting it in.
I mean, a lot.
Yeah, just to see a lot of us we like people that lead by example. You can tell us anything, you can say anything, but when you lead by example, that's what sticks out the most.
The success that Coach NaVorro Bowman had as a player. How is he like as a coach so far?
If you watch him as a player, then it's kind of coached out the same. Like he's a do-right guy, a technique guy. I don't know. I say it's like a boss to the walls type of guy. And that's what you need as a linebacker coach. You got to be able to lead a group of men, like I said about Coach Harbaugh. But you got to be as a linebacker too. You got to be able to lead the defense. Them guys gonna follow you. They want to hear your voice. To give them comfort when guys not at ease, whether it's the call or the situation, whatever it is, you explain it to them. And that's just something that he's willing to, put it and instill in us. We rather relay the message to the rest of the guys.
Who are some of your teammates who are kind of being vocal leaders during this period of the offseason?
We kind of split up now, but on the defensive side, we got K-Mac, DJ, them kind of the guys that vocally lead us, but them also guys that lead by example as well, so it's easy to follow that.
Did you have relationships with any of the players here before you got there?
No. Well, Tyler Conklin, I played with him for the Jets. We both from Michigan, Detroit area. He stayed 5 minutes around the corner from me, so yeah, that's my guy. But besides that, no, I didn't.
So what are you most excited about heading into year 2 with your group?
That is year 2. Last year everything was going fast, even for coaches, and for the players and for coaches, things have slowed down. We kind of know what to expect, and just the energy and everyone coming back, being excited to correct, mistakes and kind of get further along than what we did last year. It was kind of, we were on a high rise and it just ended. So just to see the guys excited to get back and really attack this thing has been exciting for us.
Dayon had a breakout year last year. Just what are your expectations on how we'll sort of build on what he did last year?
Just to always strive to get better. I think, a lot of times you have success in this league and you kind of don't go pay attention to the things that you can get better at. So I'm trying to make sure that, he understands that there's room for improvement. And we're attacking it every day. I actually just got finished meeting with him, even though we just had meetings an hour ago. So we're putting in the time that it's going to take for us to be better, and we have expectations to do that.
What are some of those areas that you guys talk about as far as where to improve?
Just linebacker play, just, expectations, anticipating things, just understanding offenses a little bit better. I just think as a player, you just worry about your job and your assignment, and then as the the consistency and the years tend to overlap, you can kind of like venture off and learn exactly what the offense is trying to do and what's coming next and things like that and where you are on the field. You can't think about those things in your first year. You just have to know your assignment and be ready to make a play when the play presents itself.
You said you were just having a meeting with Dale?
Yeah.
So it was like a second meeting with him?
Yeah.
How much does that encourage you to see a guy that young so early in his career, like still wanting to work with that same amount of enthusiasm?
Well, that's where it starts at. I mean, we can do so much as coaches and just, have a schedule, but, we don't know who's listening in these meetings. We don't know, who's writing down the right things. So when you get a kid or a guy that wants to do the extra work and come really hear it, for themselves, that they really care, about their job and they want to, get better. So that's what it's about. You take an initiative out of the building and as well as when the schedule is over. If you need extra work, we're here for you.
With Junior, just what did you sort of make of his rookie season? Obviously, he had the appendectomy in July and an ankle injury during the season. What did you sort of make of how he did? And where do you feel like his head is at heading into year two?
I just think Junior was the guy at Michigan, and when you come from that, you have expectations for yourself. But this is a different business, different type of animal for him, and I thought. He learned that very fast last year, and I think his approach this year, whether it's body or on the field, he's headed in the right direction.
Coach, some of these successes you had last season that you can build on?
Well, we kept offenses from scoring a lot of points, so I think that's one thing where we did that well against average quarterbacks, and we want to do that against the quarterbacks that's looked at as the best in the NFL. And I think if we do that, we'll be right where we want to be as a defense.
What did it mean to you to get Denzel and Troy back in your room?
Yeah, it meant a lot. I mean, they bring so much to the room, and they're dependable guys, and you want that. You want guys that's kind of going to not have to be told a second thing over and over and over. And those guys do a great job of studying and executing and just giving, the young guys insight or giving them a way to how to move or to prepare, on what's next. So, Troy's played a lot of ball. Denzel's played a lot of ball. And just to have them in the room, being able to encourage and help the young guys out is really good for us.
You mentioned with Junior that, coming to this level, there's obviously lessons to learn about what it's like to be in the league, to play at a high level in the league. Just what were some of those specific things that you think he learned through the process of being a rookie last year?
How fast it is. You can make so many plays in college, and the transition to the NFL is just totally different, and the speed of the game is totally different, and I think he learned that very fast. He's so eager to play and make plays, but I enjoyed, redshirting in college. I enjoyed watching a lot more than playing my first year, and I thought that helped me in college and in the NFL, just seeing it played and seeing how things have done, whereas he was drafted the second round, and he kind of has to be put into the fire really fast. So I thought, him learning and having those mistakes and having those bumps and bruises is definitely going to help him out this year.
Junior, we saw Deion make a big jump from year one to year two. That case scenario, the Junior kind of followed the same path.
Yeah, we hope so. He's done the work. He's been here in the off season. He's been with Coach Herb. He's done the extra. He's dropped a few pounds, which I think he's moving a little better. And just want to keep him healthy and get him to camp. I think that's the best thing for him. And just having him be 100% and really show us his NFL play. That's our goal as a staff, is just to get Junior to camp.
You guys had a rotation going at certain times last year when Denzel was healthy with Deion and Junior. Just how do you sort of see the rotation playing out this year? It's obviously early, but even Troy was able to get on the field and make plays for you guys. So how do you sort of see, in an ideal world, sort of see the rotation shaking out with your guys?
There's no set rotation right now. It's early. We don't have the pads on, but we do have a draft of kind of who we want to be out there. But you never know. Guys come back and they show us different. They show us improvement, and I expect that out of our room. It's a lot of competition, a lot of guys that I feel can play at a high level. So I look forward to the competition and guys fighting for spots.
Adding on to that, given the continuity of pretty much everyone being back, do you feel like your unit should be like a leader on defense?
I do. I always think that as a linebacker, we should always have some type of control of the defense, and I have the guys that's willing to do that, and that's what makes us a good group, is just guys being willing to do extra and to communicate to other positions to make sure other guys are on the same page.
What did you learn about yourself in last year, kind of your first year coaching at this level, still very early in your own coaching career?
I learned that I can do it. I learned that, coaches really had to, process things on what the guys actually need. I think that comes to me a lot easier, being as though I played, just seeing, a weakness and being able to come up or create a drill to kind of get that guy to understand exactly what we want them to do. But I've enjoyed it, man. It's been great. Of course, the time and everything is long, but the benefit and to see guys improving is really what I do it for.
You were with Jim in the Niner year 1 to year 2 with that program. Do you have a similar vibe here of year 1 to year 2 in the league the team can take?
Yeah, it's getting there. It's creating, a culture where you don't have to always be the guy directing. Getting players to kind of like just guide the team and, and make sure that, we're all on the verge of thinking about winning, and putting the team first. That's what it all comes down to. And I think we are. I could feel the camaraderie and the guys understanding when we're out there, we're going to work, and when we're not, we're relaxed, we're enjoying each other. But just understanding that, you can't harp on what you did before. You have to move on very quickly in this league, or you'll be surprised in the next year. So just getting guys to understand that this is a league that every Sunday you have to prepare and perform, or you will not be where you want to be.